Hello everyone, happy new year. So I don't know about y'all, but I am much more of a new year cleaner versus a spring cleaner. With a new year, it feels like a clean slate, and decluttering kind of helps me start my year in a better mindset. I picked out some products that I've been on the fence about, and today is sort of gonna be their last shot to show me what they got, see if they deserve to stay in my routine or if they should just be decluttered. And of course, I welcome your opinions in the comments as well. So we're gonna get straight into it, but first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things budget beauty. If that sounds interesting to you, then become the newest member of the Slashed Squad by hitting subscribe and the bell icon. The first product on the chopping block today is the Maybelline Fit Me Tinted Moisturizer. I had heard so many good things about this product. It's been very hit or miss for me. Sometimes it looks okay, but more often than not, it looks patchy. And I had been using my fingers and I tried using a brush. So today I'm going to use a damp sponge and see if that makes it a little bit more usable for me. Especially as my skin is clearing up, I'm getting more comfortable using lighter foundations and tinted moisturizer products. And one thing that I did notice with this is that it has a decent amount of coverage for something labeled tinted moisturizer, which is maybe the reason why when I apply it like I apply other tinted moisturizers, it's not necessarily working. The other thing that I noticed is that this dries down really fast and gives you a matte finish. And once it dries down, you can't really blend it anymore. And I think that also contributes to it looking patchy. So I'm just looking at myself in the screen and this is already looking crazy. Like, I don't know how to make this product work. I really thought a damp sponge would be the foolproof way to apply this, but it is looking not great. Also, I've never noticed this before, but this is oxidizing really orange. Okay, see, yeah, I'm coming across the same problem where now that it's dried down in some sections, if I try to go back in and kind of fill in any patchiness, I'm picking up and moving around the product. Look at this patchiness. What do I do about this? I've gone in several times now trying to blend this crazy line out and it will not blend. Okay, if you like this product, how do you apply it? How do you apply it? I've tried my hands, I've tried a brush at this point, and I've tried a damp sponge. What am I supposed to do here? What am I missing? I am going to take this off and put on a different foundation so I can finish the rest of this video. So that way the rest of the products that I've picked out are not on top of this at a disadvantage already. One second. Well, that is a heck of a lot better. Yeah, unless one of y'all can tell me how to apply this, this is definitely going to be decluttered. Over the past couple years, I feel like so many brands have tried to put out brow pens and I have not really liked any of them, but the AOA Studio Micro Brow Pen has been the one that like semi worked out for me. And because this one gave me the best results out of all of them, I did hold on to it, but I still don't really find myself using it a lot or necessarily preferring the results of this type of product over a pencil or powder. But I had the idea to combine using the AOA Studio Micro Brow Pen and the e.l.f. Brow Lift. I've been using this a lot more recently. I really like the combed up brow look, but I do need a little bit of help filling in my sparse areas. And I don't find that this product necessarily plays well with a pencil formula or a powder formula at all. This is in the shade Soft Black, and what I'm gonna do is fill in my arch a little bit more because I have like no hair up here. My brow just like drops off. Now, the problem that I have with a lot of these brow pens is that they start to look very Sharpie-like at the slightest amount of excess pressure, and I found that that was a little bit less with this product specifically. I'm gonna do it up here as well, create some upward strokes. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's try the brow lift over it. I'm doing one brow at a time because I'm not sure if the pen should go on before or after. I have really come to enjoy this brow gel. I feel like it gives me just as much hold as the NYX brow glue, but I feel like the formula is just a little less sticky and a little easier to work with. Okay, this is working exactly as I hoped. My theory was, and I don't know if this is actually happening, this is just what I made up in my head, but I thought that an ink formula would kind of set into my skin a little better so that when I go over with the brow lift, I wouldn't move around the product like I would with a powder or even a pencil. I'm not seeing any patchiness as I apply this over the areas I used the pen. So maybe I found a way to use it. Next up, we have an eyeshadow palette that I really just do not understand the hype. The NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette. I originally purchased this because it is consistently the top rated eyeshadow palette at the drugstore. Whether it's Target or Ulta, this is always #1 in any type of like magazine roundup of the best drugstore makeup. This is always in there. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm just confused what the rubric is. I've never thought that NYX shadows were all that great compared to other products on the market and compared to NYX's other products in general. But in the spirit of this video, I am gonna give it another chance because the only time I ever use this is when I'm specifically referencing this palette as a drugstore bestseller. I never reach for this in like my normal day-to-day makeup looks. So this is the warm neutrals version. So that is the type of look we're gonna get today. Now it's not even necessarily that these are bad eyeshadows per se. I just think you can get better even for less than what this palette costs, because this ranges from $10 to $15 depending on where you're buying it. Even Profusion, you can get one of their huge palettes for that much, and I think their formula is better than this. Okay, these mattes are a lot better than I remember, especially this dark one. It's giving me a pretty rich application here. I'm just having a tiny bit of trouble blending this darker shade into the lighter shade. I'm just gonna go back in with that lighter shade to see if I can kind of help soften this up a little bit. It fixed it a little bit. Do you see this dark spot right here? That is not wanting to blend out. I'm gonna go into this sort of beigey champagne and see how that looks on the lid. I'm gonna try to add this lighter champagne as my inner corner and brow bone shade. The more that I look at this outer corner blend, the jankier it looks. Hold on, I'm really gonna try here to do some additional blending because I don't want y'all coming for me like you purposely did not blend out your shadow. Like, no, I'm really trying. Trying, y'all, I'm trying. I feel like this is as good as it's going to get. I think once my makeup is all done, it's not going to be something that's super noticeable, just like in person going out. I'm obviously being very scrutinizing right now. Okay, no. The price rose, thanks inflation, to $18. No. And you know what? I think that's where the disconnect is, because NYX does tend to price their eyeshadow palettes higher than what you would expect from the brand. And then the quality doesn't match that higher price tag. Because at $18, buy a ColourPop palette, buy a Morphe palette for that. And if you didn't want to spend that much, you could buy an Essence palette or a Profusion palette. Like, you have so many more options, and this is just very basic for that price. I feel like the reason I've kept it all this time is because the reviews are gaslighting me into thinking it must be great, and it just never really is. The next product that I'm considering decluttering is actually all of my nude eyeliner pencils. I don't really use nude eyeliner anymore. It used to be a huge thing to line your eyes with a nude shade, make them look bigger, and I always found it to look a little unnatural. So I'm just gonna try again. I mean, I haven't done it in a while because it's clearly not the whites of my eyes. I don't know. And this is the Essence Extreme Lasting Waterproof Pencil. It's my favorite eyeliner pencil formula. To be honest, I think this is just very dated. I don't know what else I would do with a nude eyeliner pencil though. Yeah, this is giving me very much like 2014 vibes. Tell me in the comments, are you still using nude eyeliner pencils, or a better way to put it would be light, creamy beige eyeliner pencils? Because this isn't nude for everybody. And if you are, how are you using them? Are you using them like this, or are you using them in a different way? Is there a reason for me to keep them if I'm not gonna be doing this in my makeup routine? I do have another liner on the chopping block today that I'm not sure whether or not I wanna keep or declutter. This is the Maybelline Master Precise Liquid Liner. In my last video, I mentioned I'm really just not doing liquid liner all that much anymore anyway. But on top of that, this is a felt tip pen. I hate felt tip liners so much. I really, really, really prefer brush tip. This is very highly rated and I don't mind the actual liner formula. It's just this stupid felt tip. So let's try to make a very precise wing today. I'm gonna try to keep it on the smaller side, which is just my style right now when I do want to wear liquid liner. I will say that it stamps on very well. And if you have any signs of aging around the eyes, whether your skin is just getting a little bit more crepey, which I hate that term. What's another term we can use besides crepey? It's like too close to creepy. I don't like it. But yeah, like if your lid is just a little bit looser nowadays, and I can see that mine is, I don't feel like a felt tip works very well over that type of skin. A brush tip will glide over a lot smoother. I will say for a felt tip, it creates a very sharp wing. Ah, I blinked. That was not the liner's fault. That was 100% mine. So I am gonna end up making them a bit thicker than I wanted to. Okay, so I never do my liner like this, but it had to be done to fix the issue. And I will say that I was able to get some pretty clean lines with this. I might hold on to this and see how the felt tip wears because right now it's pretty precise. But if you've used this liner for an extended period of time or you've repurchased it, let me know your thoughts. Next up, I'm giving a last chance to this mascara, the Pacifica Stellar Gaze Mascara. Now, I don't think I had strong opinions about this product either way. It's just that I have like my old faithful mascaras that I love and use for almost every single look. Right now, it's the Maybelline Lash Sensational. So this really hasn't gotten a lot of love in my more recent makeup routine. So I just want to kind of remind myself if I like it or not. It is very, 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 very subtle. Also, this wand is just a little bit big for my preference. I feel like I'm hitting my eyelid. This would be probably a great mascara to use for a no makeup look if you just want a little bit of definition. It's doing a decent job at keeping my lashes separated, no clumps, and the length that it's adding is very natural looking. The lashes are staying tapered, so it really does not look heavy. I tend to go for a little bit more in my mascara. Also, not a lot of volume here at all. So the fullness is lacking for me a bit. I'm really trying to build it up. It's definitely not bad. It's just not my preference of mascara. I could see this working really, really well for somebody who prefers much lighter makeup. Yeah, I feel like I kept this with the intention of using it for no makeup looks, but I'm clearly not reaching for it because I found it at the bottom of my mascara drawer. Second chance or declutter, let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and do the spoolie trick to flake off the mascara smudge that I got on my eyeshadow. Helps pick up dry pieces of mascara without smearing your shadow. Perfect. Yeah, especially for this eye look, I really feel like I need something more going on the lashes. This next product, it's interesting because I actually really like this line of products that has highlighter, blushes, and bronzers in the same formula. I just don't know if I specifically like the bronzers. So these are a couple of the Milani Supercharged Multi-Sticks. Now, I talked about one of these in my last video because I think their Power Highlight shade, mwah, gorgeous. But I just don't know if this formula works super well as a bronzer. I'm always kind of on the fence when I try to use it that way about how it looks with the rest of my makeup. So let's give it a go. So first, let me just swatch these to see which one I want to use. So that is Dynamic Bronze. And then this one is Bronze Voltage. That one's a little warmer. Now, specifically for contour, I don't feel like a dewy finish is necessarily what I'd be going for. Now this is definitely different than how I apply the highlight version of this product. With that, I just kind of tap it on, but I really want the bronzer to kind of melt into the rest of my face makeup. Did that do much? Hello? I'm doing something. Careful, that's hot, baby. Okay, I was a little bit light-handed, so I'm gonna add a little bit more. It does blend really nicely. It's okay. It's definitely on the more natural side. Let's go ahead and try the contour shade. Yeah, that's definitely a cooler brown. Yeah, I just don't know if I like the radiant finish there, you know what I mean? Okay, for the nose, I'm actually really liking it because it does blend in to look very natural. The shade is perfect for contouring though. It's just the finish. Well, let's see how it works with the rest of my makeup that I'm gonna be layering. I will say I absolutely hate this packaging. That's something that I did not mention in my last video because the cap doesn't have like a snap or a stop when you put it on. So it's incredibly easy to jam it farther than it is supposed to be put on, and then it splits up the side. And I've done that to, I think, 3 of these now. This next product didn't make enough of an impression on me to really enter my regular makeup rotation. This is the L'Oreal Glow Paradise Lip and Cheek Tint. I don't feel like I necessarily had a bad impression of it. It just didn't perform memorably enough, I guess. So I want to give it one last shot to wow me. Now, as a tint, this is going to be on the more sheer side, and it is definitely more of a liquid blush than a cream. It's pretty, it's just sheer. Okay, honestly, not bad. Let's see if I can layer it just a little bit, although this would be just enough if I was doing a fresh face, no makeup look. Especially if I was wearing this over bare skin, this would be just enough color. I usually like just a little bit more color because even when it's layered, it's on the subtle side. But the finish is really pretty. It is a tint. I have to accept the fact that it's a tint product. And even though this is so tiny, what did I use? A total of 8 dots of product because I went over each side twice. So a little goes a long way for the more natural look. I think this is pretty. I think there's a specific look that I would use this with. So I just need to make a mental note to actually reach for this. If you have this, I want to know your thoughts in the comments. This next product I have barely touched. This is the Wet n Wild Hello Halo Blush Lighter. And I don't know, maybe I'm just like confused a little bit by this product because there is more of a blush pinky shade. There is an obvious highlight shade, but I would never use this as just a blush on its own. It's just way too frosty. Let me just swatch both of these shades for you. The highlight is absolutely beautiful, but the pink shade I feel like is just too deep and too pink for me to use as a highlight, but it's way too light and frosty for me to use as a blush. So for me, I've been like, I don't know how to use this shade at all, so I don't end up reaching for this as a whole. So I'm gonna go into the champagne shade, but do we think that it's worth keeping for just the champagne? I mean, I guess I can at least hit pan on the highlight shade. Damn, that's really pretty. That way it won't totally go to waste. But you know what? I would really love to find a way to use that pink. Maybe if I used it as an eyeshadow instead. What are your thoughts? Because this highlight, I have forgotten how gorgeous it is. It is very much an even opaque glow type of finish. There's not like obvious shimmer or glitter in it at all. And that's the type of powder highlight I prefer. I can definitely see myself using this highlight, so I don't want to declutter it if I can find a use for it. Why don't we just try tapping on the blush shade a little bit over this cheek tint we already have on? Yeah, you know, the problem that I have with a blush like this is that I already have textured skin, and this is just amplifying that. And that's why I don't go for frosty blushes. Aside from, personally, I just think they're a little bit dated. They definitely remind me of like 90s Claire's makeup. But personally for my skin, I don't think that it does me any favors. So what do we think about the Wet n Wild Blush Lighter? This last product I'm considering decluttering may be a surprise because it's a very well-loved lip product in the drugstore community. This is the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipstick. Now here's the thing, I'm just wearing way less matte lipsticks recently. In fact, this is definitely not the only matte lipstick on the chopping block in terms of, you know, what I'm kind of looking to declutter. I'm really considering getting rid of a handful of my matte lipsticks because I'm just not a fan, especially as I get older, noticing more lines. I don't want them to be that obvious. And matte lipstick sometimes does that. And that's kind of what I'm looking to remind myself, whether or not this formula accentuates or smooths over my lines. So let's try it out. This is the shade Missy and Fierce. It's a red. Such a beautiful color though. I do remember these being, oh, this is drying down fast. Hold on, I gotta shut up. Okay, I got that on. I was just afraid because it was drying down so quickly that if I didn't get the rest of the lip done, I would end up with like too many weird layers and it would be uneven. Anyway, what I was saying is I remember this being a little bit more comfortable to wear than other matte liquid lipsticks I have. And upon applying it today, I have noticed and remembered that this is a thinner formula. So in general, this feels more lightweight and comfortable just because of that. But also, I am getting a very classic flat matte finish. And I'm not gonna lie to you, my lips are chapped right now. I live in the desert. It is cold, it's windy, and I'm blasting the heat all day. And my skin is not doing great. And this has completely smoothed over any type of lip texture and chappedness that I have. And I feel like it actually smoothed out some of my finer lip lines. So I'm really glad that I gave this a last shot before I just threw it in the declutter pile with the rest of the matte liquid lipsticks that I'm culling, because something told me, I was like, you know, I think this one's different. She's not like other girls. And thanks to this test, if I do decide to add back some matte liquid lipsticks in my collection, I'm definitely gonna be looking at this formula first. Well, I think today was pretty productive. This test definitely helped me make up my mind on some of these products, but I'm gonna need your help on the others. I want all of your opinions on anything I try today in the comments below. Today's shout out goes to Kim. Thanks for being a member of the Slashed Squad, and join me over in this video next where I share the best drugstore makeup of the year. I'll see you over there. Bye.